My topic is about discrimination against Muslims, also school punishments in the 1960s, and lack of vaccination. Thank you. Recently, I was talking to my grandparents. They were discussing about how they lived in the 1960s, and I thought to myself that I'm so glad and lucky to be living in 2019. My grandparents suffered from discrimination against Muslims. They were used as slaves, as well as being brutally punished in schools, causing them to drop out and leave all their dreams behind. Also, they mentioned how one of their daughters deceased due to not being vaccinated. In this discussion made me feel guilty and privileged. I truly want everyone to know the pain in the 1960s, alongside make everyone appreciate their lives in this advanced time. Today, many people talk about how horrid racism was in the olden days. Yes, I agree, I was not alive at the time. Nevertheless, we learned entirely about this crucial topic from school, grandparents, parents, and so on. However, nobody ever mentions how Muslims were treated in those ugly times. The blacks were treated crucially, whereas the whites were exceedingly privileged. Except, let me ask you this. Do you on any occasion hear anyone discuss how Muslims were treated unfair? No. How does the world just sit on the fact that in the 1960s, 3 million Muslims were taken to America as slaves for the white? The slaves urged to maintain their beliefs and traditions. However, due to the stigma throughout the environment and media, the hate drove all Muslims to convert to Christianity. Not long after, Muslims banished in America. Just imagine how much cruelty and discrimination you must get before changing yourself just to please others. Let that sink in for a moment. Sure, racism has changed over the past years, but it's still very, very uncomfortable. How many mothers have to walk down the street scared that someone will snatch their hijab? It's 2019, and as a devoted Muslim, it shatters my heart to know that Muslims are being held in concentration camps in China, getting forced to do sinful actions as the Chinese brainwash them to do, as the Chinese brainwash them to become Christian. That's how the world is. That's the definition of humanity. Precisely, that's quite not all that occurred in the 1960s. In today's society, one rebellious mistake at school can only lead you to detention or non-physical severe consequences. Rather than a normal detention in an adult room, for the 1960 kids, detentions were physical punishments. Teachers' punishments were vicious and physical. Based on the students' mischief behavior, the consequences could be brutally damaging. Moreover, in this time of society, parents and teachers are allowed to touch children in an atrocious action. Or severe lawsuits can take place, giving up to a lifetime sentence depending on the circumstances. Teachers retain control and power by using punishments such as spanking the palm with a ruler, using a cane to strike them in the calf, and etc. Without doubt or hesitation, teachers took this role as an advantage. In the 1960s, corporal punishment in school was ordinary, thus parents could not interfere with the school's decision whatsoever. A researcher, Vinita Dauranangia, has conducted that students do not work their best when being held under pressure, especially when being physically punished. This shows how much the laws and school punishment has changed over the past 59 years. Obviously, going to school in 2019 is completely exceptional than going to school in the 60s. Now, in 2019, students can have a healthy environment at school alongside being inspired instead of scared. Lastly, we get our first ever vaccinations 2 months after we are born, including polio, hepatitis B, and so on. Vaccines are highly effective and can train you to overcome numerous types of diseases, whereas not all vaccines were available in the 1960s. Though the current vaccines were accessible, many lives could have been saved. Thanks to the technology and human intelligence, we hold a wide range of vaccines, up to 26 categories of vaccine actually, which have preventable measures towards unwanted illness. The World Health Organization has discovered that vaccines are 85 to 95% effective worldwide towards their recipients. 85% of the world is currently vaccinated and up to date with their vaccines. The remaining 15 disapprove vaccines. Scientists and reliable sources have proven vaccines are effective countless times, though people's beliefs are blinding them from reality. Many civilians suffered from viruses that in this advanced time people sleep on. Being vaccinated is a privilege, meaning you can participate in school and other communities. People are taking vaccines as granted. We must gain the knowledge of the genuine reasons why we inject this chemical into our bodies. Those who disbelieve vaccines are foolish. The lives in 1960s would have appreciated vaccines if they had uncovered the whole wide range of vaccines. Awareness needs to be raised for the remaining 15 humans in the world that are vaccinated, alongside those who just inject shots without being aware of the benefits, because every life matters. Overall, we need to be mindful of our lives. Life should not be taken as granted. To live in 2019 is a privilege, especially if you live in a progressive country such as Australia. Now, I hope you understand the agony people who lived in the 1960s felt when being discriminated for their religion, punished in schools for novice actions, and including lack of vaccinations. By all means, living in 2019 is better compared to living in the 1960s. Likewise, there are still a few problems occurring in 2019, though it is still improving year by year.